Hey guys, this is Khan in another episode of Ask Khan. Yesterday I did a video about the Thorn buff, and I got quite a few questions about is Thorn viable for the raid, and also about the gun that I usually take into the raid, or that I think is basically the best gun in the game, which is Hawkmoon. So I'm alone right now, there's nobody in my party, but I'm gonna go to the Vault of Glass and I'm gonna set it to hard, and we're just gonna look at opening the door. Now I know not everyone has Hawkmoon, which is a big problem I think with the way Bungie has the game set up. I think if you play the game for certain activities, you should be able to choose what weapons or armors that you get, and it shouldn't always be random, because we have some guys in our group that are still level 29 because the game doesn't give them what they need. They give them the same things over and over again, and they never get what they really should be getting to level up, and I think the game in that regard is broken. But getting back to Thorn versus Hawkmoon, specifically for the raid, let's take a look at this. So before we go into the vault, my character is a level 30. It's a Titan, and if we look at the stats comparing the Hawkmoon and the Thorn, the Hawkmoon has a slower rate of fire, more impact. The way that I have it set up now, it has more range, it has less stability, and the reload is slightly slower. But the magazine is 13. Now, when we talk about the Hawkmoon versus the Thorn, and I'll quickly let you see the details of how I have my Thorn set up with perfect balance instead of send it. Excuse me. I don't want the stability that much. Snapshot is pretty useless. And these perks, I'd rather have the stability than that little bit of range, but the range probably could help. Actually, I will go with this for better impact. And if I go to my Hawkmoon, the way that I have this set up is it has more stability, well actually more range, a little less stability, and Hammer Forge. I think Hammer Forge is a much better option than the speed reload. I tested it out, and with the speed reload it was like 2.8 seconds. Without the speed reload it was 3 seconds. So 0.2 seconds for the reload really isn't all that much. I'd much rather have all of that range for the longer game, especially for the beginning conflux. And if you're like me in the raid, I'm usually during the conflux section, I'm on the left side, the longer side, not the short side. So anyway, let's get into this, and we'll take a look at this. First we're going to look at Thorn, and I think Thorn is a great gun. I'm really happy with the buffs that they gave it, but do I think it's better than the Hawkmoon? No. If you have the Hawkmoon, you already know. It's kind of one of those secret clubs that if you have it and you're in the club, you know. If you don't, you're just kind of on the sideline guessing, and you never really know. Hawkmoon has, once it's fully upgraded, it has 3 bullets that destroy everything. So let's look at Thorn, and I'll go over to this conflux. And what we're really thinking about are Praetorians, and here's one right here. And I'm dead. That didn't help me out very much. So let's look at a slightly longer game. Alright, so when we think about the vault, we have other enemies to deal with. We have the goblins, we have Praetorians, we have the regular guys. There's so much that I have to deal with. Of course, you'll have someone else with you, but I mean, I still have a lot to deal with, and this Praetorian isn't even close to dead. And that's probably about 3 clips that I've put into this guy. So let's just try this again. I'll try and play a little bit better, but just the Hawkmoon, I mean just the Thorn, we're talking about how much damage is this thing really doing in this kind of a setup, because you're not fighting only Praetorians. You're fighting a bunch of guys out of bullets. Yeah, I missed a couple shots, but reloading again. There's so much going on. There's so many guys that I have to deal with. This jerk is still here. And again, like I said, you're gonna have other people on your team to help you. But if we're just talking about the pure damage output, the range, and landing your shots, Thorn isn't a bad gun, but do I want to take it into the raid, especially to deal with the conflux? I'm out of bullets, right? No, I don't think it's the best way to go. I think there are better guns to deal with it. I'm just waking up, so please excuse this poor play. But I just don't think this gun really does it. So let's move on to the Hawkmoon. Let me step out a little bit of cover, and let's switch this up to the Hawkmoon. Let's see what this can do. So first of all, the way that I play Hawkmoon is a little bit longer, but not that I need to. So when you compare 9 bullets to 13, I've got 5 more bullets in this weapon. Alright, 5 more bullets. 3 of which do ridiculous damage. Sure, the Thorn has the curse to stop the shields, but that's only the Praetorians that have the shield. So as you can see, the Thorn, even though I used the whole clip, it's almost killed the Praetorian by myself. And I still have more rounds to finish off these ads after I've reloaded. So when you think about it that way, why would I choose Thorn? For PvP, maybe PvE, certain things that aren't so taxing, so stressful, yeah, sure. And I mean, Hawkmoon, just from here, I'm completely safe. Now, of course, he's gonna take this. He's too close on. But I can get him down that much with no, I guess I don't know what that little shield is, but the shield to regenerate is gone. So I just think that if you have the Hawkmoon, and if you're talking about doing the raid, Thorn isn't the best gun for it. If you're talking about just damage dealing and crowd management for hand cannons, Thorn isn't really the best. Every time I get him down to about that much, and I can run up. I still had 7 bullets in the clip before I reloaded. And this is, you know, manageable. This is manageable compared to the Thorn. Let's go back to the Thorn one more time. 9 in the clip. Is it manageable? That's really just what you want to know. Is it manageable for the vault? I'll try my best to shoot a little bit better, but I don't think it'll change too much in terms of the Praetorians, because you're not just shooting Praetorians, you're also shooting the hobgoblins and the regular guy. So there we go. The shield's down, but the damage to his life, not even close. You have other guys getting in the way. Too much to kind of deal with. It's like 2.5 clips almost. 2 clips and a little bit. It's not really worth it. So I'm gonna get out of here. So I mean, if that's what that's what you really wanted to know, is the Hawkmoon usable for the raid? I wouldn't recommend it. That's my opinion. You can have your own, but if you have the Hawkmoon, and I'm used to using it, so I'm a bit biased. I've been using the Hawkmoon for the raid for a while, so if you have it, you already know it's the best gun to go for. But if you don't, and you want to use a hand cannon, I think Thorn might help, but you'll need some other friends who you're playing the raid with that can back you up really well to give you enough time to deal the damage, reload, and give you that space you need, that little bit of breathing room, because it's going to be crazy. An extra 5 bullets in Hawkmoon versus the poison in Thorn, I don't think it adds up. So that's my advice for players who are deciding Hawkmoon or Thorn for the raid. Any other questions, feel free to ask, leave them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to try my best to figure it out and help you out. Alright, thanks for asking, Con. Catch you guys later.